everyone. This is Northumbria's live webinar session for Northumbria's offer holders. My name is Lina. I'm an international recruitment coordinator for Europe at Northumbria. Some of you might have met me before in your countries at higher education fairs. If you have, nice to see you again. If you haven't, welcome. I hope you find this session useful. So what we're going to do today, we're going to have a Q&A session that's going to be divided in two parts. This is part one, where you get to meet our fantastic European students. They're going to introduce themselves in a minute, and an accommodation representative as well. So stay tuned for part two as well. That's going to happen right after this one. In that part, you're going to meet our academics from design, psychology, and business school. So remember, if at any point you have any questions, you can put them in the question section below, and we're going to get through them at the end. So we have some fantastic people here with me. So if you would like to go around and introduce yourselves.
I can start. My name is Ekaterina. I'm a second year student of International Business Management.
Hi, my name is Martina. I'm from Czech Republic and I'm a second year student studying International Business Management with French.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining. I'm Tanita and I'm part of the accommodation team here at Northumbria.
Yes, and I'm Lina. I'll be your host today. So as I said, if you have any questions, just put them in the comments section and we're going to get through them at the end or before the second part of this Q&A. So thanks for everyone that sent their questions in already. We have a few to go through, so we're going to go straight in. So the first question, and that's the one probably that all of you are thinking about, why should I choose Northumbria over any other university? So I thought we can ask this for our students to answer. So this is for you guys. Why did you choose Northumbria University?
Well, the first reason why I chose Northumbria was the course that they were offering. I was looking something to combine languages and business, which are something that I like both, and which I found international business management, and then I watched videos, photos on the internet, and I just fell in love with the atmosphere and the campus pictures. So that was it for me.
For me, it was quite similar. It was also because of the courses. I wanted to do business with French in particular, and Northumbria is one of the few universities who actually has this course. The courses are very high ranked here at Northumbria. And then the other very important thing for me was Newcastle as the city, because there are loads of students and there is so many things to do, so that's fine.
Yeah, I find that a lot of students choose Northumbria because of the city as well.
Yeah.
That's at least one of the big reasons. And we do get a lot of students at Newcastle in general, so every sixth person in the city is a student. Nice energy, as you mentioned as well. So yeah, that's great. So another thing that we get asked about quite a lot is, do we have any scholarships for students from the European Union? So I'm going to answer this one. So yes, we do, and we have quite a generous one this year. So it's called Northumbria Undergraduate Scholarship September 2020. So this is a scholarship for outstanding 200 students from UK and EU. So it's £3,500 in cash. So this scheme is open for all undergraduate full-time courses studied at Newcastle. So if you study at our Newcastle campus and you are an undergraduate student, you can apply for this scholarship as long as you meet specific academic requirements. So for example, if you're from Poland, so you need to have 85% in your matura overall average. If you're from Lithuania, like me, you have to get 9 points in your overall average in brandos attestatas. If you're from Cyprus, you need to get 19 in your proletarian, and so on. You can find this information online. So you have to get this academic requirement, and then you also have to answer a question: how will studying at Northumbria University and being awarded this scholarship prepare you for your future? So this scholarship ends, the applications for it close on 4th of June 2020. So there's this one available, and we also have some subject-specific scholarships for music and design for industry students. So if you would like to find out more, you can go on our undergraduate funding section of the website, and all the information is available there. So we have some funding available, and also what our parents, like for our students' parents and the students themselves, like quite a lot is that Newcastle is quite an affordable city as well. I think it's important to mention while we're on the money topic. So
Definitely.
you'll find that everything is a lot cheaper here than in surrounding cities as well. So yeah, so that's scholarships. And another topic that we get asked about quite a lot, and this question actually came in from our student Joanna. She wanted to know, is there accommodation on campus? So this is for you.
Yeah, that's an excellent question, and it's something I know a lot of students are very interested, and especially a lot of parents think about. The answer is yes, definitely. We have a great range of different accommodation options. A couple of them are on campus, so you're literally living right next door to the library. All of our other buildings are within about a 5-6 minute walk from the main campus, and one of our buildings is about a 20-minute walk and has great transport links, which is about 10 minutes on the metro. But yeah, excellent for location, very lucky to be close to the city centre as well.
Yeah, I think it's quite dangerous because you get used to getting to campus so quickly. You can just
On one of our buildings, you can literally roll out of bed and be in your lecture in 2 minutes, and that's just the dream.
Okay, so and what are the accommodation prices? What are the prices for accommodation at Northumbria?
They vary, so our prices start from about £80 per week and they go up to about 130. So it will depend mainly on the facilities that are available in that building and also on the location. So we offer a great range of different buildings. You have your traditional accommodation with the shared bathroom facilities. We have some great catered option where you can have your food provided as well. And we have some really nice modern ensuite buildings or even self-contained studio flats. So for the more traditional options, that's around £80, as I said, and these are the ones that are based right on campus. And most of our en-suites are around £120 per week, which is actually a great price if you think about it overall and in terms of budgeting and cost of living around Newcastle. Just as you, Lina, mentioned earlier, Newcastle is a great city to be a student here and to live here. It's very affordable, especially compared to other places around UK, like London, for example. Like the cost of living here is so much affordable. To be a student here, it's actually very easy. But there's a lot of different options people can choose from, so everything for every budget.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. I really like that. I like that there's a cater option as well, and I've heard that in that accommodation you can get the cook to make anything you want for you if it's your birthday. Is that right?
The team are absolutely amazing. Yes, we've just refurbished actually the dining hall and the communal space for that building, so it looks amazing with a lot of like more space and social areas and games. But yes, the catering team do a lot of different things and a lot of different kind of type of meals throughout the year. So you have Mexican night, you have Italian, American, so you get a chance to kind of experience a lot more. So
oh, that's really nice. So how do you apply for accommodation?
that's another great question. It's very simple. You can complete your application within about 5 minutes. So the only thing we require from students is to make Northumbria their first choice on the UCAS system, or if they've applied directly with the uni, it has to be there, it has to accept their course offer. After you do that, obviously each one of you will get an email with the username and a password that will give you access to the student portal, and on there it's entirely self-selection. So if you guys imagine picking a seat on an airplane and kind of how detailed that could be, it's quite similar for when you book your accommodation. You can see a floor plan of the area and you can be very specific in regards to which building and which part of the building you'd like to live in. Another really cool feature we've added onto the system as well is that you can pick your flatmates as well, which I think is really handy. And I think a lot of our students do like and are really using that function, because the system shows you what age, what part of the world that person is coming from, what they're going to be studying, and a little bit of a description about them as well. So you can actually choose an area within the building that already has people with similar interests, just as you, and it just makes that transition of coming from far away, coming to a new place, and just knowing that there's somebody kind of in the same boat with you and experiencing the same thing. It makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can, it's dead easy. You can select your room in 5 minutes. After you're happy with your room, you make an advance rent payment online on the system, and that secures the whole thing. The room is yours. You can then just book your flights and come to Newcastle.
I love that. I really wish they had that function where you can see who you're gonna move in with. When I was applying to study at the university, so I really like that this new development.
It's great. And also after every single person books their room, they get invited to some of our Facebook groups. So we have dedicated groups for each of our building, so they can actually start talking to the new flatmates and planning who's bringing all the pans and the pots and the music and everything. So you can start to interact with kind of your future flatmates at a really early stage, which is just great.
Yeah. I like what you said, that it helps with the settling in process as well, because I think a lot of students worry about that a little bit, which is completely natural. And this is another question that we had come in prior to the filming. So how easy was it to settle in the new learning environment? Would you guys like to comment how it was for you?
I guess it was quite easy, especially for me because I have lived in different places and countries. But what I felt when I came here was the inclusivity the university gave to all the students. I have friends from almost everywhere, from different countries, and it's what makes Northumbria kind of different. You can meet cultures and people, so it's much easier when you meet someone who is coming from a far away, and you meet and you become friends because you're basically the same boat, so you have the same obstacles. So it was easy because of the inclusivity and the people around me.
I felt quite welcome straight away here at Northumbria as well. I think all the people are very nice in Newcastle as well. So everyone, if they can see that you're in trouble or need help with something, they will offer you the help straight away. We have a great well-being support at Northumbria as well. It's in the library, so whenever in the beginning I had problem with something, I could just go there and ask, and they helped me with everything. And I think the other very important part is, as you mentioned, the international students, because there are so many. And maybe in the beginning I felt a little bit insecure about my English and my pronunciation and all that, but because there are so many international students, we are really all on the same boat, so it feels okay.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Actually, I have a figure for you. We have people from 132 nationalities currently studying at Northumbria, and that's about 20% of all our students. So it's really large percentage, and I agree. It really helps to have that network of people that are going through the same thing. Did you guys go to the Freshers Week as well? Maybe when you joined? Yeah,
lots of freebies.
Yeah.
The best part, especially when it's your first year, is literally the best thing ever. Many free stuff, food. I got I don't know how many vouchers, so it was amazing.
Oh yeah, I had the whole room just covered in vouchers and free stuff, and also the parties in Newcastle in the town. And here at Northumbria as well. So I met straight away so many people from UK and all around the world as well, which was really amazing.
Yeah, so again it helps with settling in as well, so that's lovely. We do take that very seriously here at Northumbria, so Freshers Week is one of the proofs of that. So there's a full week of events in which students get to meet other international students, as you said, but they also familiarize with themselves with all the support and well-being teams. So if they do have any problems, they know clearly marked as you said, in the library. It's called Ask for Help, so students can always go there too. And yeah, another thing that happens during Freshers Week is the societies and sports fairs. And I know that you guys are really active with societies, and I know that when I was a student, it really helped me to make friends and just feel like I have a community of people that are into the same things as I am. So which societies did you join? How was your experience with that?
So in my first year I joined Surf and Yoga Society, which was amazing because with the Surf Society we went to Taima, which is a small town like 30 minutes from Newcastle, so very close, and we went as a group and we went surfing, which was amazing, even though it was a little bit too cold. And with the yoga, we had I think sessions like twice a week, so it was great, as you said, being with the people who likes the same thing, and just get to know them. In my second year I'm part of Dance Society, which is again very, very nice.
Me on my first year I joined the volunteering society, Hospital Arts, and we basically do arts and crafts with patients that have dementia in the hospital. And now that I'm on my second year, I have become a member of the committee of the society, which I think is a great thing to have on your CV. And it's something that even the professors, especially for us, these business students, because we are like many from different like marketing, logistics, and so many categories, there is a lot of competition, and we have been told like from the very first time to join societies because it creates a great impact afterwards. So yeah, it's a nice experience.
Yeah, definitely. So if any of our viewers have any hobbies and they would like to know if we have a society for that, they could go and visit mynsu.co.uk and they find a full list. We have more than 120 societies for you to join. So, and just as you guys mentioned, it's a great way to meet people, to feel well, improve your CV, which is another thing that Northumbria highly focuses on. We're proud to say that we are number 7 in the UK at the moment for employability of our graduates. So this is all due to many different ways we encourage students to get professional experience, practical experience, but also because of the way our courses are built, just to make sure that you have the skills needed to get a job afterwards. One fun way to become more employable is to study abroad. And I know that a lot of you are interested in this because it's just a great opportunity to see the world, but also, to become more employable. So most of the degrees have that option to go study abroad for a year or to 2 different locations. One semester in one country, let's say Australia, and next semester in America or France or Spain. And then you also have an opportunity to do a placement. So this is a work experience for a year. So I know both of you have experience with one or the other. So would you guys like to share how's that going for you, or and all that?
Sure.
Since we are both doing the same course, the only difference is the language. Our course, it's mandatory, like 4 years long, which means that our 3rd year has to be placement or study abroad for 1 year. But we are also allowed to go study abroad during our 2nd semester of the 2nd year, which is something that I'm going to do like very soon. In a few days I'm going to Japan, and after that I will go for my study abroad for 1 year in Korea. I mean, there are like different options of countries, like from all the continents, everywhere, like, and usually they're like quite recognizable universities that the Northumbria has partnerships with. So that means that you're not going to a lower quality university. You're still going to have the same modules and the quality, and it's going to be recognized afterwards. And it's going from my experience and from people that I know, they really loved it, and they wish they could do that more often, maybe traveling while you're a student.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking currently for the placement opportunity, and as I study French, it has to be in French-speaking country, so probably France. It is quite challenging to find a placement, but Northumbria has a great team that helps you with looking for the placements, all the interview and the whole process of applying and getting through interviews in the different stages. It is maybe a little bit more challenging outside of the UK because the companies are not that used to have students in the company. But definitely Northumbria tries to help as much as possible to find the perfect opportunity for you.
To add to that, we have a special module which is employability career planning. So it literally counts marks of our final grade, but it's a process for like a whole semester where we're taught how to create a cover letter, a CV, how to speak on our interviews. So it's very helpful.
And for students as well, for the ones who study the languages, there is possibility to go through British Council and do a language assistant. I think it's Spain, France, maybe another country as well.
China as well, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the students will be assistants of a teacher and just teach English in the school. Yeah.
That's wonderful. There's lots of great opportunities. And yeah, as you mentioned, there's also careers and employment service as well on campus that helps students write their CVs or cover letters as well. So there's also support in that area that's available to all students, not just business students. So anyone who's willing to go and take that opportunity, you can go to these workshops as soon as in your first semester of your first year. So that's really helpful as well. Yes, so lastly, my last question to you guys. Do you have any advice for students trying to decide which university to choose?
I think it's a very hard decision, and I would just say take your time, do the research, make sure you know about the university and about the town you will choose and will study in. But I think once you decide, just have fun and enjoy your time because it's amazing.
I don't know, I did not receive any advices when it was my time to choose universities. But I think if I had to advise myself back then, what I would say is to ask around. Maybe people join groups. We have like so many Northumbria groups for undergraduates and postgraduates on Facebook, for example. So I would join them, ask people like current students how they like it here. Right now, on our website we have live chat. So current students operate the live chat, and you can ask any questions that you want about life here, the modules, the courses, anything you might be concerned about. And yeah, researching before coming here, making sure that your budget is on point, like you know how much you can spend and how much you cannot. It's really you're going to like someone who's going to struggle if you're going to move like to a city maybe that is not as affordable. So have everything in mind: budget, university, having fun, and balancing everything together.
Really great advice.
Great advices, yeah. I completely agree. And it's not just, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, in my opinion. That advice, both advices you gave, apply to anyone that's kind of looking to leave college or sixth form or whatever, or high school, and come to study at a graduate level. Like you're becoming an adult, and it's not easy, but you just have to be ready, and you just have to take every opportunity. So I completely agree.
And I think you will enjoy your time here afterwards, because for me personally, these were the best years of my life. So I say this to everyone, but I'm super excited for anyone that's just about to start their university journey, because you're gonna have a great time. And with all the support available, you'll see that whatever, like if you have any issues, there's gonna be someone to help you through it, and you'll meet lots of wonderful people on your study abroad, on your placements, in societies, everywhere. So
or in your accommodation.
On your accommodation. Exactly. Talking about accommodation, actually, I just saw that we have some questions come in. There are some students interested to know a bit more about accommodation. So, question for you: how early can you move into the university accommodation?
So our standard contract date for people that are joining us for September this year, 2020, is Thursday, the 17th of September, and that allows you to move in just a couple of days before the Freshers Week that you mentioned at the beginning. It allows you to settle in your room, kind of prepare everything, and then start from the Monday and start attending classes and the introduction of the university.
So you're just in time for all the fun and information. Another question about accommodation as well. Do you need a guarantor to book accommodation?
No, and that's an excellent question. So if you're booking accommodation with the university and through the main university website, you don't require a guarantor, which means that you don't have to worry about anyone co-signing your document, responsible for the payment. So it's great to know that you don't need a guarantor. So that applies to all of the accommodation buildings managed by the university. There are a couple of partners that we work with, and they may ask you for a guarantor, but the majority of the buildings that we do offer, and the one that offer the more traditional and budget options, and will also include some of the nice ensuite options, so you still have an excellent wide range of different accommodations that you can book without having to worry about that.
That's great. That's great to know. And also, how does it work with the student accommodation during holidays? Can I leave my stuff in my room, or do I have to move all of that?
So I would guess that means Christmas holiday and Easter holiday. Yeah, the room is your, guys, don't worry about it. You sign a contract that is from September until July normally, and that covers the full academic year. So the room is theirs for that period. Compared to other universities, we allow people to keep their stuff and belongings in the room, so not a problem. Yes, you can still go back home, visit your parents and family at Christmas, that's absolutely fine, and feel free to leave your stuff behind, they'll be there when you come back.
Yeah, you don't need to bring all your things to your Christmas dinner at home. That's good. Another and last question about accommodation. Is the accommodation payment monthly, or do we have to pay everything at once?
Yeah, again, that's a great question. So, as I've mentioned, when somebody books their room, we require an advance rent payment, and the rest of the kind of finances for accommodation are normally split into 3 equal payments throughout the academic year. So there's normally one in October, one in January, and one in May. So it helps you manage your finances, just same as you guys said. It's very important to kind of know where you are and what you can afford. So all payments are split in 3, and you get informed when you move in, kind of how much is it, how much it costs, how you can pay. We kind of give you all of that information.
That's great. So these are all the questions for now. So thank you so much. And this is the end of the part 1. So please stay tuned. You're gonna meet our academics in the part 2 right after this one. So this was the part with all the European students and accommodation representatives. So thank you so much for watching. And if you do have any questions for our academics, you can already start sending them in, and we'll go through them in the part 2, which is gonna be in around 5 or 10 minutes. So thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
I don't know about you. Why one, how about two? Jump in, hop out too. Watch what I say and how I do it.
If you don't love me now, you gon' love me tomorrow. If you don't love me now, you gon' love me tomorrow. Get it?
You're gonna love me, you're gonna love me, you're gonna love me. You're gonna love me, you're gonna love me, you're gonna love me.
From Nigeria,
Japan,
Czech Republic,
Latvia,
Spain,
China,
Korea,
Pakistan,
Lithuania.
Poland.
I chose
chose the UK because I wanted to study somewhere colder.
I want to gather international experience.
I love cricket.
More of an international crowd because I like the weather, the people and the language.
I've been to the city before and I really loved it, so I decided to study.
Because everyone here is just so friendly. It's a beautiful city. They offer one of the best business courses in the UK. For great facility.
Northumbria University has got many accreditation.
They have exactly the master program I was looking for. Welcome to Newcastle.
欢迎来到纽卡斯尔。
Selamat datang di Newcastle.
Newcastle-కి నమస్కారం.
Bienvenidos a Newcastle.
뉴카슬에 요코소!
I live in Newbridge Accommodation. It's about 5 minutes walking from my room to the classroom. I can sleep until 20 minutes before lectures and still make it to class.
The primary reason for picking Win Studios was the accessibility, because it makes a big difference traveling to town, traveling to business school, traveling to the main campus. So the accessibility was a key part of it. This accommodation has given me more independence because I have the opportunity to cook for myself, to clean, and so it's just developed my independence just to understand what it means to grow up as an adult, grow up as a university student.
I live at Trinity Square Accommodation and I like it because it's a social place, everyone's friendly and kind and there's always stuff to do. If you're bored or at any point, just go down to one of the hubs, go and knock on a friend's door, say, oh look, do you want to play like table tennis? And the next thing you'll know, you'll have like 10 people stood around you.
Quite a lot of people from my college and like my local area were coming to uni because I wanted to meet new people. I didn't want to just stick with the same group. Like if I wanted to stay with them, I don't see the point, and I might as well have lived at home and travelled every day. Whereas I feel like living in obviously student accommodation, you get the benefit of meeting new people and new friends. So like now I've got friends from all over, like Kenya, Angola.
Everyone was so friendly and I ended up making quite good friends with quite a few people.
I think I met somebody from pretty much every country in Europe within an hour. So it was absolutely amazing for that.
The thing that I was looking for in the accommodation was, I guess, to be close to the campuses, to be cheap and to be good quality. The campus here, they offer you low price and then very good quality.
For the price range, there's something for everyone.
I think the benefit to living in student accommodation for more than the first year is the fact that you get everything included with the price. One of the things that put me off going into private accommodation for my second year was that not only have you got the price of the flat to worry about, that you've then got your utilities and things like that, whereas in student accommodation you don't have to worry about that, it's all included. The applying for accommodation online I found really easy. You can find information on all of the university accommodations. They've got loads of details on there about what facilities are available, what the kind of rooms are, details on prices and things like that. Once I'd selected what room I wanted, initially paid the deposit, that was it. I knew that I had my accommodation organised.
I was looking for something that was off campus because my mum didn't want me to be around on site the full time. Otherwise I just work and I need a space to relax and get my head together.
The accommodation I live in is Trinity Square. There's sports facilities on site, there's a gym. It's kind of handy for if I just want a quick workout, I can just go in and jump on a row machine or a treadmill. I do athletics, I can walk to the campus in 20 minutes, so I train there 2 or 3 times a week, so it's handy that I've got that nearby.
Parents care about the safety because you are coming here alone, so finding a school accommodation will feel more safe that there are people who actually care.
We all get given a phone number, it's like a help desk number. There's someone on that 24 hours, so no matter what it is, no matter what time of day it is, someone's always going to be there to answer your call and help you out.
The school actually take me from the airport to accommodation directly. When I get to accommodation, the reception tell me where I can buy things for me for like settling in for the rest of the year. And your parents don't have to worry about when you move out and then live alone.
It's just a community. You just feel at home. It's just a lovely area. I love it.
currently work as a call centre call agent in the telecentre.
I work part-time with the marketing team and I do content creation for the social media.
So I'm assisting the postgraduate marketing team in Northumbria to create content for their website and social media.
I work as a supervisor at the telecentre.
I work as a university event rep.
The job has helped me gain real-world experience doing actual design work and other bits of like video work for the university that can really look great on my resume.
This has really helped with my interpersonal skills, with my confidence, so this has really helped with my university. The job has helped me to network with people, so I'm working with like-minded people who are interested in content and working in marketing, and it also helps me to think from a university point of view what kind of content they want to put out there.
Balancing your work life and your university life is pretty easy in Northumbria because they know how your study schedules work and they try to give you the work around those study schedules so that it doesn't get too hectic for you.
So my job is quite flexible, so I get to choose what hours I want to work. So I tend to choose shifts that are not clashing with the times I study best. By just communicating with my boss and taking on projects I know I can handle, and also that could benefit me for my course as well.
Well, I am quite lucky in the fact that the shifts here don't usually clash with my university work, but I'm very aware that university has to come first.
So for students who want to do part-time jobs, if you find it really difficult to balance this work and study ethic, you can always have a weekly planner put in your room. Just make sure everything is done according to how you plan.
Once you come here, take your time to adjust. Don't rush in to get a job. So take 1 or 2 months to just settle down. And then you can visit the careers portal in Northumbria or speak to a careers advisor here. You can visit jobs like indeed.co.uk or monster.com.
Just look for what works best for you, look for what is flexible, look for what would not be too demanding or too stressful while you're at uni. Being here at the telecentre and having to talk to students all the time has helped me open up a bit more, and I believe that's a really important skill for the job that I want to undertake in the future.
I'm looking for the marketing internship within Northumbria University, and this is really the stepping stone towards that. So,
gaining different work environments, especially being from the States and diving into the UK, it's a different experience and how they challenge workloads and take on different projects. So it's nice to gain that credibility and knowing that I'm actually helping out the university and actually creating products for them.
Hello everyone, thanks for staying for the part 2. This is Northumbria's live event for offer holders. My name is Lina. I'm an international recruitment coordinator for Europe here at Northumbria University. Some of you might have met me at your higher education fairs in your countries. If you have, nice to see you again. If you haven't, no problem. I hope you enjoyed the session. So the purpose of this event is to answer any questions you may have and to help you make an informed decision about studying at Northumbria University. So this Q&A is divided in 2 parts, and you hopefully have seen the first part just before this. And this is the second part in which you get to meet our wonderful academics, which they're going to introduce themselves in a moment. So if you have any questions at any point, just put them in the comment section and we're going to try to get through them at the end. So if you'd like to introduce yourselves now, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Mark Bailey from the Faculty of Arts, Design and Social Sciences, and I'm a lecturer in design.
And I'm Libby Orme. I'm from the Faculty of Health and Life Sciences, and I'm a lecturer in psychology.
And hello everyone, I'm Eustathios Sainidis. I work for the Faculty of Business and Law, and I'm a senior lecturer there.
Perfect, and my name is Lina, so I'll be the host today. Again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments section, and thank you so much for everyone that already commented. We had so many comments in the first session, so it's really nice to see your engagement. We love it, so keep going. Yes, so we're gonna jump straight to the questions that we have sent in already. So the first one is, why should I choose to study business, psychology, or design at Northumbria? What makes our courses stand out? So would you guys like to answer this one?
Should we start? Go in your
okay,
order,
I'll go
we
first.
started with business.
So I'm happy to talk about business. Anyone who's interested to do a business or management degree. So why should you be coming to us, and why you should have an interest in Northumbria University? Well, we offer programs, courses in undergraduate and postgraduate, of course, in business and management, with specialisms in finance, in accounting, in marketing, in human resource management, but also more generic degrees in business and management. We have some very strong links with industry, which offer opportunities for placements and internships later in the program. But we also have many partners in Europe and beyond for study abroad options as well. Many of our programs are professionally accredited by the relevant institutions, and that's very important, especially for anyone who wishes to do an accounting or a finance degree or marketing and so on. So that's about business.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, in psychology, I think what we would sort of say is one of the main things that differentiates us from other psychology degrees is the focus that we have on student choice. So all of our students in psychology come on to one of two psychology degrees, which are either psychology or psychology with criminology. And we support you to have sort of a broad understanding of psychology, and then we allow you to make choices as you move through the degree that allow you to specialise within areas of psychology to give you that sort of edge in employability. So we allow students to choose option modules throughout their second and third year that sort of specialise within areas of psychology. But also we have over 70 different sort of research active specialists within psychology who allow you to do research projects in your final year in pretty much any area of psychology, because we've got specialisms in a broad range of areas. But we also have the opportunity to do placements and study abroad, similar to my colleagues in business, that allow you to sort of specialise your degree in a way that sort of sets you apart from some other students, perhaps.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Sounds good.
So I think there are four distinct things about design at Northumbria. One is we've been doing it for an incredibly long time, so we have this fantastic global alumni network. And that's particularly valuable to us because we work with our alumni in a way that allows us to deliver on the second of those 4 points, which is our industry engagement. So most of our students, all of our students, whilst they're studying with us, will have opportunities to work with organisations around the world, one way or another. So our industry engagement is tremendously important. Students study through working with organisations and live projects, and the organisations range from start-up charities to global Fortune 500 corporations and everything in between. The third thing that I think is critically important is the breadth of study that is possible within our design school. We have one of the broadest portfolios of undergraduate programs and postgraduate portfolios in design studies. Everything from interaction design in digital media through to 3D product, fashion communication, and its diversity of subjects. And finally, all of that learning is centred around making. So we're a school of making, thinking and making. So what we're seeking to do is create the future world through both our sort of intellectual engagement with situations and our ability to translate our ideas into tangible things.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Really great answers. Thank you, guys. So I would just like to add as well that we have, of course, we have more than just these three faculties and more of other courses that are available at Northumbria as well. So I would just like to shortly comment on what sets those apart as well. And some of the things were mentioned already. Mark, you said that we focused a lot on doing and making and creating. So you will notice that that's a a theme that runs in all of the courses that you can study at Northumbria. We have a really strong focus on employability. So whether you study film and design, engineering, architecture, whatever that would be, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to do things in practice, not just learn about them in theory. So that's a wonderful thing. And another great thing that sets us apart is how much we invest in our facilities and how much we invest in making sure that students have the most modern, up-to-date and up-to-industry standards equipment and labs. So just some examples at the moment, I have them here. So Sports Central received £30 million investment, so it's a brand new facility. It has physiology, biomechanics, nutrition labs, indoor sprint and performance analysis facilities, so really impressive equipment there that really helps students to get the most of their degree and prepare for their future. We recently invested 6.7 million in our STEM facilities, so that's science, technology, engineering, maths. So if any of you visited campus, you probably noticed that it's really impressive and really modern. We get that comment quite a lot from our students. We just opened a brand new architecture building as well, and a brand new building for computer and information sciences. So just again, it shows how focused we are on making sure that students have a great experience, but also become employable after they've studied here. And I've mentioned this in part 1 as well, but I can't stop mentioning it. We are number 7 in the UK for employability of our graduates. So these are just some examples of how we get there. So I have started talking about facilities already. So if you don't mind, we can continue on that theme, right? So what are the facilities like for psychology, design, and business?
In psychology, we have quite a lot of very specialist research equipment. So we have a lot of practical teaching space that has the opportunity for students to conduct research projects and learn how to do research through the programme. In order to sort of support them do some of the more specialist tasks that we have on the programme, we have centres like the Brain Performance and Nutrition Centre that has facilities for students to run projects around nutrition and the effect it has on the brain. So we have facilities to take blood samples, analyse blood samples, measure brain activity, things like that. We have an immersive virtual reality suite that allows students to conduct research around sort of movement and space, but also around interactions. We have some really interesting research around autism and how you can support people with autism to interact in their environment. And we also have the Northumbria Centre for Sleep Research, that's a specialist sleep centre that we focus on the treatment and assessment of sleep and wake disorders. And so it's a fully kitted out, it's got bedrooms, kitchens, everything. You can sit and observe people sleeping all night if you want. So we've got quite a lot of sort of specialist equipment that we try to expose students to throughout the course of the programme, but certainly when students come to doing a final year project, we've got lots of facilities available for them to do some really exciting things.
That's really great. Yeah.
I mean, in design, so I mentioned that we're really focused on making, but the starting point is a studio culture, really. So all of our students have access to studios that are dedicated spaces for their programs and their course of study. And so we encourage students to use the studios as much as possible, and they certainly do that outside of timetable time as well. The studios are supported by state-of-the-art industry standard workshops and computing facilities and contemporary and experimental rapid manufacturing facilities and so on. Actually, the most valuable asset that we have in terms of those workshop facilities are the expert technicians that are there to support students in their learning, their inductions into using the facilities and so on and so forth. So it's a completely joined up thing. It's not just about having the kit, it's having the expertise to support the students using the equipment. I think it's really important.
definitely. And I've seen some of your studios for fashion design students, and those are really impressive. It's just a massive room full of sewing machines. So in case some of you applied for fashion design or any one of those courses, don't worry, you don't have to bring your sewing machine.
No,
we have those here.
And that's really fantastic, because what happens, of course, with fashion students, as with the other design disciplines, the students have the opportunity to exhibit their work on really an international platform at exhibitions, catwalks and so on in London at the end of their studies. So they're translating their making into really the material that will set them up for employment. Very valuable.
That's really great. Yeah, thank you.
I could talk about the business school. We are home to a really wonderful purpose-built, designed and purpose-built building. We recently moved there together with the law school. The design school is opposite us, so we can see some of the creations that your students are making in terms of fashion. Now, the business school is in a modern building. We occupy 2 floors, plus the ground floor, which we share with the law school. Most of the space in the business school is dedicated to teaching facilities. So we have what we call seminar rooms, which where we place students in relatively small groups of 20 to 25 students, where some of the practical elements of the teaching takes place in various business and management subjects. So students in the seminars have an opportunity to work in small teams of 4 or 5 on a dedicated task, which is in many cases related to not just theory, but looking at a real case study of an organization, doing some analysis. But of course we also have some lectures which are taking place in larger rooms, what we call lecture rooms, lecture theatres, and they vary in capacity from 60 to maybe even 300 students. What we're very proud of is what we refer to as the business clinic, and that's a dedicated space which sits just in a different building outside the business school, but very nearby, 2-3 minutes walk. Again, it's a dedicated space where we bring students together in the final year of their undergraduate with corporate clients. It's a selection of students which will join the business clinic activity. It's an opportunity for students who wish to do something different from an undergraduate dissertation. So they work on a real project, which a real client, a real organization comes in, a business, offers a project to a group of students of 4 to 5, and they work on a solution which they provide to the corporate, to the business client, with the presentation, but also a report. So we're very proud of the business clinic, which allows students to practice what they've learned in the past 3 years of their undergraduate degree. Of course, if they also do a placement opportunity in the 3rd year. So facility is very modern, very much tailored and designed around the student needs and expectations, and always, as we mentioned, in both the other schools and the other faculties, allowing students to practice what they learn in the various textbooks and books that you will come across. So it's not just reading, but it's also very much about doing in all our programs, business, design, psychology and beyond.
Definitely, that's what I've noticed as well when I moved here to study from Lithuania, where I'm from. There's a lot of practical experience which I didn't expect to have as much, so that was really a nice surprise. And just again, I would like to add a little bit more about the other courses we have as well. So just to mention the facilities we have, for example, for forensic students or criminology, we have something really exciting, which is called a simulated crime scene house. So it's a house that's created to look exactly like a crime scene, and you get to come in wearing a special suit and everything, and you collect the evidence and you analyze them. So again, really immersive, really exciting opportunity for our students to get practical experience that they can even put on their CVs afterwards. We have something similar in terms of giving the students practical experience for law students. So Eustachios talked about business clinic. We have a law clinic as well, which works in the same principle. And another thing we have for law students is a courtroom. I remember when I first saw it, I couldn't believe that we have that on campus. It's an actual courtroom. It looks exactly like a real one. And as part of their assessments and studies, students get to experience what it's like to be in that environment. They can get used to it, so there's no surprises when they actually have to go and be in that environment in their real world of work. So it's just great. I would like to also mention the library, which is very important for all of our students. And we really do have a fantastic library. I believe it's in the 3rd place in the UK at the moment. It used to be in joint 1st place a few years ago. So it is a really fantastic big building that has all the books either in physical form or virtual form for you to take advantage of. It has lots of different spaces for studying as well. So and it's open 24 hours per day. So if you're a night owl or an early bird, it's suited for everyone really. So that's it about the facilities. We could talk about them all day, but we'll stop now. Another thing that the students are curious about is how learning and teaching methods look like at Northumbria, because they do vary from country to country and from university to university. So would you guys like to comment on that? How many contact hours we have and how teaching and learning looks like at Northumbria?
Yeah, okay, I'm happy to kick off with that. So I talked about the studio culture, and we encourage our students to take full advantage of the studios for as many hours a day as they're able. When we look at contact hours, typically we anticipate that students will have something around 15 to 18 hours of contact timetabled in the first year of their studies, and as they progress they will become more independent in their learning, so we will reduce the number of taught contact hours, but of course the use of the facilities and the way that students work in the design school means that they will often be engaging with their academic staff and technical staff on an ad hoc basis as well. And I think the thing about studying design is it's very much about getting your hands dirty. And if I think about the ethos of our school, I think our purpose really is to enable graduates to leave us equipped with the creative confidence and the knowledge and the skills that are required for them to make a difference in the world. That's what we want them to be able to do. And so we encourage learning through doing and through failure. Actually, we want students to experiment, get things wrong, find out from what went wrong so that they can make it better the next time and the next time. And by doing that in an environment where they're connected with external industry partners, companies, professionals who are working in practice, they can see that this approach is validated by the professions that they want to go into. So it's one of the other things that's interesting. So we talk about employability, but Northumbria's got a fantastic track record in graduate startups. I think number 1 or 2 year on year for graduate startups, and a lot of those startups come out of across the university, but a lot come out of the design school, partly because I think students develop this self-reliance and ability and confidence in their capability to do things. That's cool.
That's great. And you mentioned that it's between 14 and 18 hours around that in the first year. I think it's really great. And if our viewers saw the first part of this Q&A, you remember how the students talked about that there's so many different things that you can do as an extracurricular activity, societies, you can try to find a part-time job as well. So it's really great that you have the contact hours, you have the time to study independently, which is encouraged and very important. But if you're a good student and you manage to do that quickly, you have time for all this fun and other activities that boost your employability as well.
Definitely.
Is there anything you'd like to add? Or
no, I would just say it's actually quite interesting that although we're sort of very different disciplines, it's a very similar approach, I would say, certainly in our faculty, in terms of that combination of sort of maybe the more theoretical content, but also the opportunity for students to work in small groups and individually to sort of, certainly in psychology, it would be running experiments, designing and running psychological experiments, but very similar, learning how to do things and progressing throughout the course in a sort of a lab-based format. But yeah.
That's great.
If I may add on business and management, just reflecting what Mark mentioned earlier, success and failure in business and management, we do look at businesses who had success, but also try to learn from failure of organizations, and that's very valuable for future managers like yourselves, I guess, who have an interest in business and management disciplines. And what I would also like to highlight, apart from the kind of lectures and the seminars, workshops, that's the modules and the programs are based on. We also very much encourage students to reflect on their progression and the progress and the learning and their skills as a future manager in an organization, whether this is in the public sector or private sector, or as Mark mentioned, starting your own business. Because obviously a lot of ideas in terms of startups and starting a business come through your undergraduate degree, being exposed to different businesses, products and services. And it is important that students realize at what levels they are and how they can improve their people skills, their communication skills, presentation, teamwork skills, and so forth. So reflecting on where you are and how you can improve is really important for us.
Definitely, I like that. So everything you study is all about making you more employable, which is one of the first reasons why students come to university in the first place. So it's all sounds really good. And another thing that makes people more employable, and we touched about this in the first part as well, but I would just like to reiterate as well about the hands-on experience and study abroad options. So Libby, would you like to comment about what study abroad opportunities are available for our students at Northumbria?
Yeah, I think most of the programs offer an option for a sandwich year or a sort of an additional year to the program between second and third year that allows students to study in a large range of different countries in the world. I think we have over 150 different partner universities in countries across the world. We have a lot of students that like to study, I think Japan, Australia, North America are particularly popular, but across Europe, South America, the whole of Asia, we've got lots of different partners that students can study at. I think there's a sort of a mix. Some students tend to do the one semester, but others do a full year abroad. And I think I guess the biggest benefit of that is not just the sort of cultural experience, getting to study a subject in a different culture as well, but also that sort of edge with your employability, again, sort of setting you apart from the average undergraduate for having that sort of additional experience. And we have a really great study abroad team that sort of supports students in making the decision where to go and the practicalities of setting it up and finding the right choice for them. But there's some really great opportunities for students all over the world.
Definitely. And as far as we know, employers always complain about that students don't know languages or that they don't have enough intercultural or just in general cultural awareness skills. So this is a fantastic way to get all of those skills in one semester or two. And you're right, we have lots of partners all around the world. So if you guys have a country that you've always wanted to visit, there is a chance that we have a partnership there, so you could go study abroad there during your studies at Northumbria. And I would just like to add a fun fact that 27% of all exchange students meet their long-term partners abroad as well. So that's another incentive. So that could be you as well. And yeah, so we spoke about study abroad, but we also have another option for students in their so-called sandwich year that comes after their second year and before the final year. It's called placements. So Mark, would you like to comment about placements?
Okay, so some of our undergraduate programs are structured around a sandwich placement, an internship as a structural element of the program. Others have it as an option. But in either case, the seeking a placement it's a competitive process. It's something that sees you honing your skills in making yourself employment ready. You know, there is an application process, preparing a portfolio for design students, and going through the whole interview and selection process. So that in itself is a really great learning opportunity. Sometimes it's a learning opportunity around dealing with disappointment if you don't get the internship that you want, but eventually students generally find the placement they want, and we have a placement support team, so it's a partnership activity between the placements team, the student, and the academics. We love the students who come to us and say, I found myself a placement, because then we're not involved, apart from making sure that all the health and safety checks and all those things are in place. I mentioned before about our alumni network and its reach, and of course this is one of the greatest assets when it comes to finding internships, because if a student comes to me and says, oh Mark, I'm interested in doing a placement in Hong Kong or wherever, chances are I know someone there. It's probably someone I've taught, because I've been here a very long time, and I can put them in contact. And of course all of my colleagues are in a similar situation, so we work in that way.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And just to add as well, you said that we have a really large alumni network, and I believe that's probably even higher than the number of nationalities we have on campus at the moment. But at the moment we have 132 nationalities on campus, which is huge as well. So just to illustrate the point that you made, so that is wonderful. It's a really diverse campus for sure. And I'm just looking at my my tablet here, and I can see that we have a lot of questions that came in from the people that are watching this at the moment. So thanks everyone that's commenting. So Mark, this one's for you.
Okay.
So are there, among which specialities can I choose in the graphic design career?
Okay, so in graphics, or in our communication design subject group, students can study graphic design, more traditional graphic design. They can study illustration, and they can study interaction design, which is the digital, the relationship that we have between the human being and the digital interface, and how we design that as both a form of communication and as a digitally mediated experience. Okay.
I believe there is a touch on branding as well. Right?
Yes, that's right. So within the communications programs, branding plays an important part. But actually, in all design subjects, brand is important, and the relationship between the brand values and the designed artifact, system, service, whatever it might be. It's an act, that output is an act of translating a brand's values into things that people come into contact with.
That's true. Thank you.
Okay.
That is great. And then there's another question about design. This one's about scholarships. So we got asked if there are any scholarship for design students. So the question is, yes, we have a scholarship for design students specifically, and this is for students that have applied to study design for industry. So if you would like to read more about it, it's called Flower Scholarship, and it gives £2,000 cash for a successful student in their first year. So you can find all the terms and conditions and what you need to do to apply if you look for Flower Scholarship on Northumbria's website. We also have a subject-specific scholarship for music students. So if you're interested in studying music at Northumbria, you can have a look and find that on our website as well. So yes, and then I can see here, I have a note, sorry, so I can comment on what you need to do to apply for the scholarship. You need to answer a question in no more than 1,500 characters. How will studying at Northumbria and being awarded this scholarship help prepare you for the future? So as you see, a similar application process to another scholarship that we have at the moment as well. So another question we received is about finding part-time job in Newcastle, and I know that is something that a lot of you are wondering about. So how easy it is to find a job in Newcastle, what kind of places usually hire students for work. So So we are a student city, so it is really friendly for students and inclusive. It's quite a large city as well, so that's definitely a benefit. So there are a lot of opportunities to look for jobs. However, it's important to be aware of the challenges that you can run into as well. Just because it's a new environment, you're getting used to being a student and living on your own. So we usually tell people that it's realistic to get a job in your first year, but maybe after the first few months, just because it takes a little bit of time to get used to this. But there's definitely a lot of students that found jobs in their first year, so it is possible. And what kind of places usually hire students? So we hire students at our Northumbria's marketing department, and we have a team of students that call students that are interested in studying at Northumbria. So those students call in, work in a telecenter, and they answer those students' questions. Of course, you can find a job in bars and restaurants and retail as well. So it's really down to your motivation and your skills and your previous experience. And we have another question for Mark. So you're popular today. What are the prospects of working for a year in the industry in the UK or abroad regarding the graphic design course? So I believe this one was covered a little bit already.
Okay, so I think for any design student, graphics especially, the opportunities are there for the students who work hard to achieve the opportunities, and you know, building a really good portfolio of work both through your studies and things that you're interested in outside the university, the creative practices that you get involved with in addition to your assigned work at the university is really important, because many of our academic staff are also practitioners or have been practitioners with their own industry networks, as well as on top of our alumni network. So they're well connected to help students find employment in the right sort of activities. There's a sort of a close network within the Newcastle area. There's a broader network across the UK, and certainly in continental Europe and further afield. There are graphic designers from Northumbria who are working, and are, you know, it's our graduates that creates the reputation that we have for employable graduates who have developed the soft skills. You know, the technical skills, we can do that's easy. It's how we teach in a way that encourages students to work well in teams, to develop their communication skills. All of those things add up to create that employable graduate, both as an intern and then when they finish their studies.
Definitely, yeah. And I agree to what you said as well about doing all you can outside your studies as well, to just help you build those skills as well, and that definitely helps you find those internships as well, because you already have something to show. So it's definitely a positive. And I believe that our European students, they're making such a big step to move abroad to study at a new environment, so that helps them, that makes them more motivated and driven, I guess, in itself. So that's something
sort of quality,
makes
isn't
them
it?
ahead already.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah. So okay, so I have just last question for all of you. So what type of university is Northumbria? If you could put it in one word, what do you think that would be?
Okay, I think I would probably say that we're innovative. So we have all of our staff are really passionate about the subjects, and we try to pass that on to the students. So the teaching is really informed by sort of world-leading research and enterprise activity. And as we've mentioned lots, I think that is why our students are so employable, because we are, as staff, teaching students through the work that we do that I think really is innovative and pushing boundaries and doing some really exciting things and bringing students along on the journey.
Yes, definitely.
I would say, I mean, I've been here a long time. I don't want to say how long, but I've been here long enough. And since, I think for all this time, I have to say that Northumbria is very student focused, and everything is around the student. And what probably drives that is that we're always aiming to improve things in our programs and teaching facilities, academic resource in terms of staff, academic staff and so on, tutors and lecturers. So it's, I suppose, combining kind of being innovative in the programs we offer, the courses we offer, but always thinking about what you guys want in terms of your career aspirations, how we can prepare you best for the future. So I cannot put in one word, I guess, but maybe I use two: innovation, as was already mentioned, and student focused in terms of what we aspire to be.
That's great, thank you.
Evidence from these two, it's rule breakers. We break rules, can't give you one word, give you 5 words. We're welcoming, culturally diverse and globally connected.
I think that's a really beautiful note to end this on. And I believe we answered all of the burning questions from our students. And if we haven't answered your question yet, we will get back to you in an email. And if your friends or you haven't seen the first part of this Q&A, don't worry, we will send you a link afterwards. And keep an eye out for that email, because we will have an exciting Northumbria hoodie giveaway, and all the details are going to be in that email as well. So thanks everyone for watching. This is the this is the end of part 2. Sorry about that, where you met our academics from design, psychology, and business. So thanks everyone for being here. Don't forget, you can come and visit us on open day, meet us on campus, and if you have any other questions as well, you can send them to eurecruitment@northumbria.ac.uk, and it's going to be either me or my colleagues that are going to answer you. So thank you for watching, and hopefully see you soon at Northumbria.
Thank you.
Thank you.